let's start a show.
A lot of them do use video.
Okay. All right. That is not going to be the beginning of show number 2.
That is terrible.
All right. You guys ready? Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Digital Entrepreneur Show. This is the show where we talk about how you can take advantage of all things digital, start, run, and prosper in your own business, whether it's online or off, be it with YouTube, Kindle publishing, blogging, websites, media, SEO. I want to remind you really quickly that the show comes to you 30 minutes every week. We also do live chats before and after, so you want to make sure that you go over to our YouTube page, our Facebook page, sign up for that stuff so you never miss anything, because I got to tell you, my co-hosts are two of the most knowledgeable guys you're going to find online.
Did you hear him searching for a word right there?
You know, I was searching for a word. Anyway, Tim Knox here. Welcome my co-hosts, Professor Nez and Steve GAMLIN. Guys, how are you?
Hey, everybody.
Good to see you.
Howdy.
Good to see you.
I was
Happy
trying
to
to
be
think of adjectives that would be really fitting of you guys, and I came up blank.
We're coming up PG. This is PG-13, right?
This is a family-friendly show because we don't want to lose
advertiser-friendly.
We don't want to lose our YouTube sponsors.
Yes.
Speaking of, as I was saying just a minute ago, this show, you can find it on YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook. Our podcast is on SoundCloud and iTunes. We are like Santa Claus. We are everywhere. Is it Santa? No, that's Jesus. I get those two confused, guys. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's seasonal.
I do. So last week, again, welcome in everybody to the show, guys. How's your week been? Nez, you have a good week?
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Just working really hard, doing the show, and getting excited about this show. Really, really pumped up for this, and everything's doing just fantastic. I'm done with my semester. You know, I'm a writing professor by day. And at night, I am a crap man, Batman. No, I'm kidding. So so everything's going fantastic. Loving it.
Awesome, Steve. You've had a busy week speaking.
Yeah, I had a couple of big events.
I still can't believe people pay GAMLIN to talk.
This is unbelievable.
It's a good thing. I had a couple of big events this week, and very excited about what's coming next. Some of the recent events. My agent is working on some big marketing stuff on the heels of some really good reviews. So hopefully, we're going to get more people to pay me to share my message.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
When I call my agent, he pretends to be a recording. Thank you.
Well, mine answers the phone and says beep, and then
yeah. I have my speaking agent is one of those guys. He tries to book me, and he'll call me up, and he'll go, "Do you want fries with that?"
Yeah.
So anyway,
did you order ranch?
Yeah. But again, you probably can't tell it by what's happening here now, but this is a show where we focus on entrepreneurship. We talk a lot about digital entrepreneurship, how to take your business into the digital world. And this is show number 2. And last week, guys, we talked a little bit about what is a digital entrepreneur. This week, I thought we would talk about first steps. First steps in taking your business online, whether you are a traditional business or whether you are just wanting to be an online business, because you really approach digitizing your business differently, don't you think? If I'm someone who has a traditional business, I'm going to do things a little differently than someone who, say, just wants to get online and sell on eBay. Steve, your thoughts on that real quick?
Yeah, I think one of the things people really have to remember is, what is your reach? If you're just a local business, say if you're a contractor, landscaper, or have a storefront somewhere, you have to be very careful to not overextend yourself and start reaching people you can't serve, because that gives you a bad name in the digital marketplace. And I think it's just a waste of resources to try to reach too much farther than who you can serve.
Yeah, that's one of the things, and Nez, I know you hear this too. When you get online, when you become a digital entrepreneur, you really do expand your customer base. You could sell to people all over the world, although in some cases that may not be the best thing for your business. You may do what Steve just said and overextend your reach, or chase markets you have no business chasing, which is really what we're going to talk about today. Let me pose a couple of scenarios to you guys. And Nez, I'm going to let you go first. I want to tell you about 2 different entrepreneurs, and I want to talk about how each one of them should take the next steps to become digital entrepreneurs. How's that sound? Does that sound good?
Fantastic.
All right, here's the first guy, and I want each of you to give me input on this. Nez, I'm going to let you go first. The first entrepreneur is a traditional businessman or woman. He may have a lawn service, or he may be a mobile DJ, or he may own a laundromat or a bakery. He may be an accountant or some kind of service business who has always followed the traditional model. People walk in the door, you provide a product or service, the people pay you, they walk out the door, you hope they come back, or you advertise locally, as Steve said. So I am that entrepreneur, and I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I really need to create an online presence, but I have no idea how to go. Do I just, it's like drinking from a fire hose. I have so much stuff coming at me and so many experts trying to tell me what to do. Nez, if I came to you as one of your coaching clients and I'm like, I just have a little service business, but I really want to take advantage of the internet. Number one, should I do that? Do I have any business doing that? And number two is, what are my first steps? Nez? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, first of all, there's no question about it that you must create a digital presence. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like saying, I want to run a business but not have a website. It doesn't make any sense at all. In this day and age, the consumer consuming your content, your customers, your patients, your audience, whatever that is, whatever that may be, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second, the number one ecosystem, the number one place that they're out there devouring you, consuming you, is through the digital kind of landscape. So if you're not on that, if you're not preparing for that, and it's just going to get more and more advanced as we advance further, in the 21st century, technology never goes backwards. It always goes forward, We may take steps back as a culture and humanity, but we always go forward with technology. Technology always moves forward. So we need to adapt to those times. So I would say the first thing for anybody, it doesn't matter if you're a lawn business, it doesn't matter if you're local, if you're global, you need to know who your audience is. Who's your audience? What's your demographic and what's your psychographic of your audience? Now, demographic, what age group? Are you looking at boomers? Are you looking at Gen Xers? Are you looking at millennials? Well, then that will help you to adapt and to create your service or your whatever your business is to that specific demographic, because you'll know what platform they're on. Where's your audience going? Snapchat, we're looking at 18 to 35. Instagram, about the same thing, but it's starting to get older. Facebook, much older. Right. Facebook, a lot of the kids, I call them kids because, I'm such an old fogey, but, a lot of the younger demos, they're not on Facebook as much as the Gen Xers and the boomers. So where is your audience on YouTube? Where are they coming from? How old are they? Psychographically, what are their interests? You got to get deeper with your audience. What's their hobbies? What's their lifestyle? What do they like to do on the weekends? How are they consuming your content? Yeah. This requires a little bit of research, not crazy heavy research, but if you take your business seriously, two things. You have to be online, period. And second, you need to know where they're going online. That you make so many great points in that. And I think the one that I pulled out, whenever someone comes to me and starts talking about starting a business in general, the very first thing I do is I go, okay, who is your customer? What is your audience? Because if you don't know your customer, you don't know how to serve them. Exactly. And so I think what you're saying is it makes a lot of sense. Before you go out and build a website or build a blog or start doing YouTube videos, the very first thing you need to do, regardless, is know your audience, because you've got to know them before you can serve them. So I think this has to do with writing too, right? Tim and Steve, and Tim and Steve are amazing communicators and writers themselves. The same thing with writing. I mean, it's really nothing's changed. Just the medium has changed. Yep. Who's your audience? Right? That's the thing. The product itself is really irrelevant. I don't care whether you're selling ink pens or cell phones or coffee cups. If you don't know your audience, you don't know who to sell to, be it online or off. Steve, let's get your input on that. If one of your coaching clients comes to you and says, okay, I'm an insurance agent. One of the oldest professions in the world, right up there with what, and I think both of them kind of serve the same purpose. They're the same, almost the same. But I'm an insurance agent. I have built a pretty good local business. I've got a lot of customers. I need to get it online. State Farm provides me with a web page, and up until now, that's been enough. But What should I do, Steve, to start becoming a digital entrepreneur? And Steve, how, because you're such a good guy at this, how do I melt the two together? How do I take my online presence and bring that into my offline presence to increase my customers, to increase my leads, my brand, etc.? Steve?
I think one of the big things, and one of the first things I thought of to piggyback on what both you and Professor Nez have been saying, is to not only know who your customers are and where they are, know what their pains are.
Oh, yeah.
And it can be as simple as asking your current customers, or if you're brand new, just kind of doing a little bit of research, maybe asking somebody in the field you're in, hey, what are the biggest things that you solve? What are the problems you solve for people every day? What this is going to do is start to determine your digital content, whether it be advice on your website or how-tos, tutorials, anything like that. What you need to know is the communication and the conversations that are happening. If you are an existing business and are looking to expand digitally, ask the person that answers your phone. First thing to say is, what do people call and ask us the most? That's the first information, in my opinion, that you want to start sharing, and just start building from there. Talk to your clients, talk to people who use your type of service, even if they're not your client yet, and just ask, what does your person do for you that helps you the most? How do we make your life stress-free?
Yeah,
I love it. If I can add to that, I love what you just said there, Steve. Absolutely. They interviewed Mark Zuckerberg. If you don't know who that is,
there's the name drop. First name drop.
Of course, you know I got to go there. So the CEO of Facebook, they said, "What would you tell?" Same scenario. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll mention Socrates in a second.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
But what they said was, they asked Mark Zuckerberg, so what would you tell people? Same topic. What would you tell people trying to start a business? He said, instead of worrying about trying to build a business, exactly what Steve was saying. He said, the first thing I would think about is, what problem can I solve?
Right.
What problem because people don't give a shit, right? They don't care about you. They don't care that you're creative, that you're lovely, and you're altruistic, and you're Mother Teresa. What can you do for me? I try to tell my students all the time, you're not special snowflakes. You're just not. You need to provide you need to prove that you're an asset.
Yeah.
You need to prove that you.
Yeah. I really like what both of you guys are saying. I think there are certain questions that every entrepreneur has to ask when they start thinking about going online. And I think Nez hit on one right out of the gate. Who is your audience? How do you reach them? What do they expect? If you're going to build a website, what does your customer expect when they come to that website? If I'm an insurance agent and someone comes to my website looking for rates and they see pictures of me with my goldfish, they're going to be a little disappointed. So who is your audience? What interest do they have? What do they expect to find? What are you selling them, and how are you going to get it to them? And I think the other thing you have to think of is purpose. What's the purpose of your website? Is your purpose is it to generate leads for your business? Is it to do sales? Is it an e-commerce site? Is it meant to educate or entertain or inform? Once you know who your customer is and the purpose of serving that customer, I think it makes things a little easier for even the traditional entrepreneur. And you don't have to jump in with both feet and do everything at once. But I always tell folks, start off with just a simple website, even if it is nothing more than one page with your contact information on it. You've got to have that digital footprint or your business is going to die. Let's talk about entrepreneur number 2. Now, this is someone who maybe is not in business now, does not have a traditional business. They want to do something online. I want to sell T-shirts online, or I make jewelry that I want to sell online, or I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to start a Kindle business online. Yeah. So if I'm that entrepreneur, Steve, when I come to you and say, hey, I'm an author, I need to get things online. Or Steve, I'm a speaker. I've been speaking to my local groups. I really want to branch out. I'm going to use the online primarily to brand myself and generate leads. Steve, how do I get started? Rather than, the old days, I would sit on the phone and dial for dollars. But now, how do I jump online and sell myself online? Steve?
The greatest things that have actually helped to grow my speaking career, and I've been in business now for 13 years, is finding out where other speakers were hanging out and not just looking at the industry and saying, I'm in competition with everybody in this field for that almighty dollar. Find out where these other people are hanging out. Build relationships among the people who are doing what you're doing. I've been on Facebook almost since inception. And one of the biggest things I'm a member of and a very contributing member of is the National Speakers Association online community. And I try to go there and add as much value as possible. The reason I have an agent is because when I saw her post, and I had no idea who she was, that she was restarting her speakers bureau. I just put a message, hey, congratulations, wishing you the best. That sparked a relationship that just got me my biggest booking ever. So being supportive in the community of like-minded people, even serving the same people, you could all eventually narrow down to your niche, and you'd be amazed at how many people out there are willing to help you. By doing that. So get involved with whoever is already out there. Do not try to recreate the wheel to set yourself apart.
So really it's get out there and find people find your peer group and network with them and point them toward your website or do what they're doing. And one thing really quickly that you said kind of sparked a thing with me. The thing that I love about the internet is it's so easy now to scope out the competition.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I advise my students is, if you come to me and like, okay, I deal with a lot of realtors because I do a lot of real estate stuff. And I'm like, okay, go find the most successful realtor in town and see what they are doing online. Do they have a website? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? Same way with you, Nez. You're a writing teacher or professor. If someone comes to you and says, I really want to start selling my work online. I want to self-publish, but I have no idea what to do. I've heard of Amazon and I've heard of Kindle Direct Publishing, but what are my next steps, Nez? What do I do?
Well, first of all, you got to have good quality product first.
You got to have some talent.
Doesn't matter how everything that we're saying on this show, and we got brilliant minds in Tim and Steve. I love what Steve was talking about engagement and really reaching out to the community. That's number one. But you have to have a quality product, so you can't think that everything's going to be, contingent upon your marketing strategies, your digital sort of presence, and all of that. Do you have anything that people want to consume? Have you researched your audience? But really, what I try to tell people when they're first starting out is, a lot of the same things that Steve was talking about. Not only find your peer groups, but maybe let's say you're a little cloudy on where you want to be or what your purpose or your vision is. Who inspires you? Who are the people that are doing it, who are successful in your genre, in your context? And then I love the philosophy of reverse engineering. So who are they? So let's say if you're a motivational speaker, you want to be Tony Robbins, or you're or you're a writer and you want to be, somebody like Seth Godin or something like that, or Malcolm Gladwell. Find out, go seek them out, find out what they did, reverse engineer. How did they get to that point? What were the steps they took to get to that point, to get to that success level? And then not necessarily copy, but, sort of emulate in a way that is relevant to what you want to do and what you want to communicate to your audience.
What do you guys go ahead and finish your thought?
No, that's it. That's fantastic. Okay. That's pretty much it.
What do you guys do when you're faced with someone? I call them the Me Too. Hey, my friend is making a killing online selling T-shirts. Me too. I want to do that. Or hey, my best friend is on Kindle Direct Publishing and more. She's just selling a ton of it. Me too. I want to do that. Yeah. And so it's always me too. These Me Too's never have an original idea. They basically want to jump on the bandwagon, or it's the latest shiny thing. Hey, you know what? My buddy's making a fortune selling pens online. Me too. I'm going to try that. Right. What do you say to people who want to just come in? They've spotted a trend, if you will, and they think that Me Too can do that. Steve?
You could not have set me up more perfectly for this, because I just answered this for someone else the other day. There was some hot industry a number of years ago, and just look back to real estate.
Damn, you're good,
Tim. Pre-2008. If you look at real estate prior to 2008, people were selling, people were making a lot of money in real estate, and all of a sudden the crash happened, and everybody bailed. Except the people and a lot of my clients stuck through it, and they just kept slogging away, and they had to find new ways to serve their clients. They worked twice as hard to make half as much. Yeah. And then when everything came back, they are making a killing. And I have other people now saying, well, I want to get into real estate because these people are killing it. I say, but
me too.
You're not willing.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. But you're not willing to do it.
Yeah.
It's the people that want to get in when it's a cash cow.
Right.
But they don't realize everything that went into it to get to that point. You didn't see all that hard work. So the Me Too's are full of gas, and they're not going to last. They're not going to make it.
Nez, you ever run across somebody like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely, all the time. And I get it. I get that it's fun, it's inspiring. We're all human beings, and we love to see, how we can kind of trending. I mean, there wouldn't be a trending, concept if people didn't follow trends, right?
And we've all done that, right?
We've all done that. Yeah, I've been inspired, but again, you have to think like, is this like what Steve was talking about? There's no such thing as an overnight success. There's no such thing as like, well, if Tim's a successful ghostwriter, me too. If Steve's a successful speaker or vision boarder, me too. Where's the relevancy?
Yeah.
If it resonates with what your purpose is, again, I love what you said, Tim, earlier about purpose. If it resonates with your purpose, you can be inspired. I'm inspired by Steve and Tim. Shit, absolutely. But
look at us.
What I mean, how could you? I'm inspired to get a plastic surgery.
Who wouldn't be inspired by Blue Boy and Pumpkinhead? Huh? Come on.
No comment. Anyway, no, but I mean, like, but if it resonates with your purpose, with what and by the way, what's your expertise? This has a lot to do with self-investigation.
Most Me Too's don't even worry about their expertise.
Well, they don't even worry about that. Yeah, there's like, well, if have you ever sold a pen before? Do you know anything about the pen business? Do you know anything about digital entrepreneurship or the platform that they're selling on? You got to do your work.
Hey, let me tell you something, guys, and this is a true story. I grew up with a guy. We were really good friends. Didn't see him for many years. I had built my business up to a pretty decent level. I was doing a lot of television. I was writing books, and he called me out of the blue one night. I swear to God, I hadn't talked to him in years, and he said, "I just saw you on the Channel 19, and I'm like, "Yeah, I do the business analyst stuff." He goes, "Well, how can I do that?" I said, "Well, have you ever been on TV? You got anything to talk about?" And basically it was really funny because he was basically saying, "Well, you did it. I'm pretty sure I can do it too."
Yeah.
And this was after 15 years of 20-hour days. And Nez, we talked about this yesterday on your show, which I had a great time on, by the way.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Of how, I was working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. There were times I didn't go on vacation with the family. I was, robbing Peter to pay Paul. 15 years into it, I'm doing really well. And he calls me up and goes, "Hey, me too. Why can't I do that?"
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's human nature to see someone being successful and wanting to kind of get on that train with them. But you've got to put in the work. Just the fact that you can now have a website up in 20 minutes does not make it any easier to succeed as an online entrepreneur. Let's talk about this really quickly. A lot of people are under the misconception that they can become a digital entrepreneur, just forego all that regular entrepreneur crap and just jump in and be rich by Friday. You guys talk about the time and energy and the years you put in before you got to where you are now. Nez, you want to do that in 2 minutes? Can you do that in 2 minutes?
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, again, this has to do with ignorance and the mindset. Like the dude who called you up and said, well, I can do that, or I want to do that. Just because you make it look easy, they only see the results. They don't see the sweat.
Yeah.
They only see the results. And there's a kind of a phrase, I'm not big on rehashing phrases, but something like, don't compare your, behind the scenes to somebody else's highlight reel. Meaning, you see these people who are doing amazing things in the spaces that maybe you want to enter, but that's all you see. You don't see them away from their families. You don't see the travel. You don't see the sweat. You don't see staying up till 3 a.m. editing, which I know both of you guys have done. I know I've done.
Oh,
right? Yeah. And your wife comes down the stairs and says, "Hey, moron, it's time for you to go to sleep because you're going to be miserable tomorrow." Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I think this is a mindset thing. Is you got to understand that this is not. It's awesome. It's glorious. There's beautiful freedom. There's beautiful autonomy, but there's a shit ton of work.
There really is.
A lot of. Yeah.
Go ahead. Nope.
No, you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is the 2 minute mark.
I love it. No, I need this.
Well,
this is great.
the thing that I love doing
I need
this
you
show,
on my show, Tim, to moderate me.
I will. The thing that I love about doing this show with you guys is every time you say something, it sparks something in here. And, one thing, and I'll be quite honest with you, that I have to deal with on a daily basis in my own life is that little green-eyed monster called jealousy. because I'm a writer. I write business books, I write novels, and I think they're pretty damn good. And then I'll read something that is on the New York Times bestseller list, and I'll go, what a piece of shit. I could write better than, oh my God, how did this guy get a contract? And
I've never had that thought.
I'm sure you haven't. But, it's one of those things where if you think you're good, but someone else, even though their work may not be as good as yours in your mind, but they have figured it out and they're taking off, admittedly, I have a hard time with that. I want to go, well, me too. I can write as good as those guys. Yeah. So I think there are varying degrees of
I think
that,
everybody's been a Me Too person. Everybody's
I think that's just kind of human nature.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I mean, I know the Great Pumpkin is a Me Too for Steve Gamlin. Where we give Steve a hard time. Steve, what do you think? We've got about 5 minutes left. The topic on this show are the first steps to becoming a digital entrepreneur, things to think about, steps to take. Again, let's approach this as someone just coming to you saying, hey, Steve, how do I get started? What are my next steps? In 2 minutes, just give them your best advice.
Yeah, my best advice, and actually something I talk to wannabe speakers a lot of times, start exactly where you are. It's never going to be perfect. You have to start right
good point.
Now.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a website, put a website together. Just put what you talk about, put the benefit you bring. Give me even a crappy video of you speaking and say right above it, this is a crappy video. Or I do a lot of work with memes and quotes. Well, I put together all my own stuff. Yes, I do. Speed memeing. But wherever you are right now.
A prolific memer.
I try to be. Wherever you are right now, write an article. You can write an article today. You have something, whatever life has taught you in whatever genre, business, niche you're in. Share what you've learned with the world, and you might just attract somebody, and you might just attract a mentor in the field who sees something that you're not just a me too, and the people will reach out and actually help you out. But you have to get your footprint out there. If you're in a visual medium, if you do t-shirts, put pictures of your t-shirts everywhere on social media. If you do contractor work, put before and after pictures on your very simple one-page website. Here's what we got. Here's what we did.
Very good.
Show the difference you can make in the world right now, and then start getting better.
All right, Nez, final advice to the person sitting in front of you?
So the barrier to entry is nil. The barrier to entry is zero. So I think a lot of people who feel that, should I get into this digital kind of world and entrepreneurship and so again, self-investigation. Who are you? Find out what your expertise is. Can you solve a problem? And then the barrier to entry into this online digital world is literally nothing. And don't be stifled, by other people doing what you're doing. I see a lot of people say, well, there's already a Tim Knox. There's already a Steve Gamlin. There's already a Professor Nez. What can I add to the space, or what can I bring to the table? This is a mindset that's really defeating. It's self-defeating, right? You have a voice. You have 2 cents that you can put in. Find out exactly who you are. Find out exactly how you can communicate that specifically and where your audience lies. And don't forget this. This is it, and then I'm done. The marketplace always decides. The marketplace always decides. So they may say, you know what? Yeah, there's somebody like Professor Nez out there, but we like the other dude over Professor Nez. The marketplace will decide. And that judge and jury is extremely accurate. Most of the time, they will let you know if you're a success or not.
You just spark things. Nez, you're a great stick. My old man, if he wanted you to do something, he'd poke a stick at you. But here's the thing. Just because you see Professor Nez doing something and succeeding at it, don't copy him.
Right.
Be your own Professor Nez. This is something I get so frustrated in a lot of the Facebook groups. The 3 of us are in various groups together, and one of the groups is like a YouTube creator group. I see so many people in that group trying to copy other people.
Yep.
When they have no business copying that person. It's like I had a guy one time, I swear to God, came up to me at a seminar I was speaking at, and he said, I've written a book, How to Make $1 Million Online. Can you help me market it? And I'm like, well, that's really cool. Have you made $1 million online? And he goes, no, but I will when I sell this book. So anyway, hey guys, I wish we had more time. We always run out of time. This is the Digital Entrepreneur Show. A couple of things we want to talk about in upcoming shows, and we really want the feedback of the audience on Facebook and on YouTube is, I want to talk about, guys, mentorship, which Steve mentioned briefly. Yeah. I also want to talk about the tools, how to get help. If I want to go online and become a digital entrepreneur, do I have to learn how to program? Do I have to learn Photoshop? I want to talk about that in upcoming shows. So we have a lot planned, guys, for this show. Again, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook. We will have a podcast up, if it's not up already when this airs, on SoundCloud and iTunes, a blog, and everything we've talked about today, and the links to these bozos right here are in the show notes below. So guys, let's see how close we've come. Look at this. 25, 24.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Right.
The countdown. Here's
Wow.
the big countdown.
All right. You guys,
Awesome.
you got 18 seconds to kill. Anything you want to say?
Goodbye.
Nez?
That was fantastic. Go out there and crush it. Don't be afraid. If you fail big. You'll learn from it. You'll get better. Everybody started at 0.
Damn, you did it. Look at that. Boom.
Wow.
Wow. All right, guys, this is the Digital Entrepreneur Show. Hey, don't forget, like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube. Technology.
Turn that damn thing off, will you?
Hold on.
Is that one of those Target clock radios?
Now we're over. We got to go. Bye, everybody.
See ya.